My name is Patty Mathews. This is my 9th event as a walker. I've been involved with the 3-day since about 2004 when it first came to the Twin Cities. I had previously crewed in Chicago and became a walker when it came to the Twin Cities. And I've walked all the events here and plus one in Boston. Yeah, Boston. I'm a professional actress, and I'm also a cookie shop owner, so a lot of you might know me as Cookie Lady or Cookie. I'm paid to play Let's Pretend, and I have unlimited access to sugary treats. I think I have a pretty good life. My journey with this disease began with my mother's diagnosis about 25 years ago, about 4 years after Komen was founded. And that was back when you really didn't talk much about cancer, much less don pink outfits and boas and hats and walk for it. I remember the fear and the sadness in her eyes when she told me in her smallest voice that the lump that she had found in her breast was cancer. She had a mastectomy and chemo and was pronounced in remission. Unfortunately, less than 5 years later, it came back with a vengeance. And no matter what they threw at it, she ended up losing her battle about 20 years ago. It was devastating to lose my mom and watch such a beautiful and loving woman being attacked from within by a merciless disease. I promised myself and my mom that I would do what I can to make sure that no one else would have to lose their mother or a loved one to this killer. About 8 years ago, a dear childhood friend of mine told me that she was facing a fight of her own. Diane was a fiery redhead, wife, and mother of 3 amazing kids. Di, too, had surgery and many courses of treatments and went into remission. 3 years later, I attended a healing service for her because the prognosis was very grim. But thanks to new drugs and treatment, as a result of funds raised by events just like this, she fought back. Her fiery red hair was gone due to constant chemo, but her fiery spirit was inspiring us and assuring us she wasn't going anywhere. She fought with everything she had to stay around for her children, but sadly she lost the battle just a few months short of seeing her youngest daughter graduate from high school. In the beginning, I walked the 3-day for them, in tribute to their spirit, their determination, and the gift they were in my life. For 8 years, I've been a part of that 60-mile journey for all the people in the fight and all of the amazing survivors I've met along the way. 1 month after day 3 of my 7th 3-day, I received my own diagnosis. If you told me that after that event that the next time I walked it would be as a breast cancer survivor, I would have laughed. I'm a healthy woman. I know my body. If something was growing inside of it, I'd know. But I didn't. I went in for my routine exam and mammogram and thought nothing of it. A few days later, they called and asked me to come back for a magnification screening. Again, I wasn't worried. I had talked to enough people through my history with the 3-day and heard plenty of stories about things appearing on scans that turned out to be nothing. Even when they asked if I'd be able to stay for a possible biopsy, I was still convinced it could be nothing. The day after the procedure, I got the call I hoped would never come. It was scary hearing those words, infiltrating ductal carcinoma. Once I wrapped my head around what was happening after it shook me up a bit, I knew that my story was going to differ greatly from my mom's. I tackled my health project, as I called it, because cancer is a scary word, and health project kind of took the sting away. I attacked it with all the positivity I could muster. I went through my treatments surrounded by amazing cheerleaders who believed, like me, that this was just a bump in the road. I had a bilateral mastectomy, which is a fancy way to say I had both boobs removed, or they stole second base, or I said tata to my tatas, and a couple of lymph nodes taken as well. I ended up taking about a week off work, mostly because my business partner and dear friend stole my car, so that she wouldn't let me leave the house. But once the doctor okayed more activity, I went back to the cookie shop. I wanted to keep my life as normal as possible, sending a clear message to the cancer that it couldn't beat me. Through chemo, I kept working. It was another form of therapy for me. And I even tried to go to the gym once in a while. Now, don't get me wrong. I had my challenging days along the way. Days when waking up and walking up the 9 stairs from the sidewalk to my front door exhausted me. Days when I was so angry that I couldn't taste much of the food that I ate. Days when I just wanted to curl up under a blanket and feel sorry for myself. As more and more of the chemicals were put into my body, I was losing more and more of the things that I loved about myself. My energy, my strength, and yes, my hair. There was even a point when I questioned whether or not I'd be able to do the walk last year. I could barely walk around my house without getting winded. How was I going to walk 60 miles? But as my oncologist had assured me, the side effects were temporary, and once chemo was over, most of those things began to return, bringing with them a newfound appreciation for the resilience of the human body and how much I love pickles. The ability to taste vinegar was the first thing to go. With surgery and chemo behind me now, I am cancer-free and plan to stay. I'm grateful for all of the money that has been raised over the past years, as I'm sure that it has made my fight that much easier. All of the research and advancements mean that I get to claim the title of survivor and hold it for many, many years to come. I walk for my mom, for Diane, for Marie, for Becky, and for all of the angels who have graced our lives with their presence that are taken too soon. I walk for Bridget, for Connie, for Tracy, for me, for all of the survivors who refuse to be defined or defeated by a breast cancer diagnosis. Most of all, I walk so that no one else has to hear those words, "You have breast cancer," and so no more children will have to lose their mom far too soon. My name is Patty, and I walk because everyone deserves a lifetime.